Hi, all, Gabi here. So I'm a master NLP practitioner, an EFT coach, a law of assumption coach, and a mindset shifting coach here at Create Your Future. Thank you so much for joining me as we dive deep into the law of assumption to figure out how to make it work for you. Okay, so today's topic is twofold. First, we're going to share a little bit of a success story from one of my clients who manifested this amazing free trip that she was really excited about. It's an amazing trip all around Europe. She does live in Europe, but this is a really cool trip that she manifested. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the same client who also manifested her SP back. Okay. So we're getting two topics here. So let's dive in first to my client manifesting this free trip. So when my client started coaching with me, one of the things that she shared with me was that she really wanted to take a trip around Europe. She wanted to do a backpacking trip. And she already had kind of a list of places that she wanted to go see, a bunch of historical places that she wanted to go see. Her biggest fear was that doing a backpacking trip was that she would not be in safe areas, and so something could happen to her. So we really focused on, with her in her coaching sessions, focus on feeling safe, feeling adventurous, feeling like she was a superhero who could really take on whatever came at her. We also focused on some affirmations for her specifically around this trip manifesting for free for her, because another thing was she had no idea how she was going to afford this trip. So her affirmations that we used, and before I share them, I want to say to you all, guys, make your affirmations individual. Have some general ones that work for you, like everything's always working out for me. I always see movement or evidence of movement in my manifestations in my world. Money always loves me, things like that. But have some ones that are really specific to you, that are individual, okay? Because they're going to resonate with you. So for this particular client, we worked on some affirmations specifically around, like I said, feeling safe and whatnot. So her affirmations were, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm always safe. I'm always looked after. I love that things just show up in my world all the time. I am always surprised by these amazing trips and gifts that I always receive. I am loved and adored all the time. I am loved and adored enough that people shower me with gifts all the time. Okay, so these were a few of her affirmations that we used. She very much wanted to focus on affirming when her mind went to thinking about this trip and thinking about all the hows, like, how am I going to afford this? How am I going to go here? It's not safe, all of these things. So her plan and what we put into place was, whenever her trip came across her mind, she would remind herself, instead of going down the negative spiral of all the hows and trying to control all the hows, she would tell herself, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm always safe. So you go straight into her affirmations, right? So she would repeat those until she felt herself kind of calm down. And then she would go about her day and live the rest of her 3D world until her trip came across her mind again. She started to feel like she was getting anxious, and then she would go through the process again. Okay. So that's how she did it. That was her day-to-day process. We didn't schedule anything. We didn't put anything on a timer. We didn't, affirm robotically or anything like that. This was just the process that worked best for her. Okay. So she started doing this after our first coaching session. By her third coaching session with me, she'd already manifested her trip. Guys, I cannot make this up. Her aunt just decided that she was going to sell her house in the southern part of Italy. And in selling her house, she decided that she was going to gift her nieces and her nephews with whatever their dream was, whatever their biggest dream was. Now, her aunt had not just a house, she had a villa with a vineyard and everything else. And she sold it to an American for quite a bit of American money. And so she was able to gift her two niece and nephew, with exactly what they wanted. Her niece wanted a trip around Europe, and her nephew wanted a new car. So those were the two things that she gifted them. And so, like I said, this came out of nowhere. They did not know her aunt was moving. They did not know her aunt wanted to sell her land or her property or anything like that. She just knew, my client just knew she wanted this trip, and just knew that it was going to come to her out of nowhere, that she was going to be delightfully surprised by it. So let me tell you how her aunt told her about it, okay? So my client had created a vision board a long time ago, and this was one of her like bucket list items on her vision board. She had the entire itinerary already written out of all the places she wanted to go, how many days it was going to take. It's 21 days, by the way, how many days it was going to take, all the different stops, the different hostels that she had been researching. She had those next to that. Her aunt happened to be over for dinner. And she was talking with her aunt and talking about her school and talking about how she was doing in school. So she's in university. So she was talking about that. And her aunt had asked her, if you could do anything right now, what would you do? And my client said, well, I'd like to finish school. And then I would like to, find a job and then get married and that sort of thing. And her aunt goes, no, I mean, like right now, if you could stop school and come back to it, what would you want to do? And my client thought for a minute and she said, well, there is something I've always wanted to do, but I just don't think it's something I should really talk about right now. I really want to finish school. And so the conversation just kind of dropped and they went on and talked about other things. Later, her aunt went to the toilet, and to get to the toilet in her house, you have to walk by my client's bedroom. So her aunt happened to walk by my client's bedroom, look into her bedroom and see her vision board above her bed and saw her trip. So then her aunt purchased the trip for her and literally created an entire basket with different samplings of things that she may find on her trip, like from different countries that she wanted to go to, and gave her that and said, you now get to be an adventurer for the world. And my client was floored, like had no idea that this was going to happen. No idea that this was like her aunt's plan, like had no idea, none whatsoever. So I think it's a really cool story. I'm really excited for my client, but I think it's a really cool story because she literally had no idea about the how, none. She thought it was a far gone future dream, literally. Even when she was affirming, she was telling me, Gabi, I don't know how this is going to happen. Like, I'm still frustrated, but also I just don't think this is going to happen anytime soon. And I kept telling her to persist. I was like, stick to it, persist. No matter what you see in the 3D, no matter what's going on in your brain, persist, persist, persist. By our third session, she'd manifested it. So super cool. Now let's talk about her SP. She did something similar, but we tweaked her plan just a little bit. So her SP is someone she had never had a relationship with. It actually was a bartender that she talked to a couple of times in the bar. That's it. That's the extent of engaging or interacting with her SP. When she started coaching with me, she told me, Gabi, I don't know if I want a relationship with this guy, but I definitely want to go on a date with this guy. I really like him. I'm attracted to him. I really think we'd get along really well. And I think it could go somewhere. But when I go to the bar, he doesn't pay any attention to me or my friends. He just serves us and moves on. So I don't know if he's with somebody. I don't know if he just isn't into me. And that was kind of her 3D circumstance when we first started coaching. So the very first thing that we did is we focused on what kind of date do you want to go on, right? So we focused on the date. She gave me the details about the date. She gave me the details about what she wanted to do, how she wanted to feel, what thoughts she might have throughout that date. If things went really well with him, what would she be thinking about? That sort of thing. So what we did is from that experience, that daydream, we made a list of affirmations that supported that daydream. So one of the affirmations was, I love that he surprises me all the time. Now, this is a really important affirmation for her because in the past, in the relationship she had not had partners that surprised her. She had not gotten surprises. She had not been gifted flowers. She had not been like taken out on a date that had already been pre-planned by the partner. She did a lot of the administrative side of a relationship. And so she really wanted to be surprised. The other affirmation that we really focused on for her was that she was always seen. Always seen. So she's always seen because she was telling herself, he doesn't see me, doesn't notice me. I don't know what's going on. So we made an affirmation for her that was focusing on how she was always seen. She was always seen. She was always noticed. She was always thought of as being beautiful, as being someone that was kind and caring and respectful, and always, always, always someone that you could have a connection with. And so these were a few of the affirmations that we worked on. This is her plan. So I want to give this to you because this is different than what she did for the trip. So her plan was, before she would go to the bar, she would spend a few minutes affirming. That was it. She didn't go crazy. She didn't affirm throughout the day. She didn't affirm when the topic crossed her mind. Just before she would go to the bar with her friends, that would be her affirmations. And she would spend a few minutes doing that. She would kind of prep herself up, listen to some good music as she was getting ready, affirming as she was getting ready, and then she would go to the bar. So this went on for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, she went to the bar. So she went Friday, Saturday, and then I think there was like some sort of trivia night during the week. So 3 times a week she was going to the bar for 2 weeks. So 6 nights total she went. In those 6 nights, she did not see the bartender give her any recognition. She did not see the bartender, notice her or talk to her outside of taking their drink order. So she really was discouraged and she really felt like this wasn't happening, right? That there was no movement. And so we had an emergency session and we talked about it and we got her back on track, And the next day, she did end up going to the bar at lunchtime to meet one of her girlfriends. So it was very random, not her normal, like going in the evening with these girlfriends that I go and like party and go out to bars with. She was meeting a girlfriend who was in town. It was like a brunch situation. And so she went to the bar with this girlfriend. And the bartender happened to be working. And he literally slipped her a note. It was in between her coffee and her like coffee saucer, right? So like the saucer that they bring out. So it was underneath her coffee mug. And the note basically said, I can't stop thinking about you. You have such an amazing connection. I really would like to take you out on a date. And it was from the bartender, had his number on it. So she texted the bartender after she got back to her house and they had this amazing text conversation. And then he took her out and he took her out on a date where he planned everything. He showed up with flowers. He planned everything, completely surprised her. The dinner he picked was her favorite, which she had no clue how he was going to pick that, but surprised her. The place that they went to after dinner to just kind of go and chill and have a couple of cocktails was one of a place that she had been wanting to go to. So he surprised her with that. Like I said, the flowers. And then also at the end of the night, he told her that he had no idea what it was, but for the last about 2.5 to 3 weeks, he just could not get her off of his mind. That was her affirmations. So he's telling her all of these things. They have another date coming up soon, but I just wanted to share this with you because, guys, this is so amazing. So an SP she had no relationship with before, no real contact with before. There was really nothing there before. And in 2 weeks, she's able to turn this into an actual date with all of the things that she wants, surprises and everything. So I really want to share with you, again, that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think is happening or not happening outside of you. You need to tell yourself it's happening. It's happening all the time because you don't know what is happening in the 3D with another person. You don't know what's happening in the 3D with thought processes, etc. So both of these success stories from the same client are both really rooted in she let go of controlling the 3D. She let go of the how on both of these manifestations. She just leaned into the knowing that because she'd made a decision of this is what I want, this is who I am, now that I have this, this is the reality that I'm going to live in, this is the reality I'm going to engage in. Once she made that decision, she just stuck to it. That's all she did. She stuck to it, and in sticking to it, it showed up for both manifestations. So I just want to really emphasize that, guys. Your God self knows how everything is going to unfold. Your God self knows that. Creation is finished. Every possibility you could think of manifesting right now is already available to you. It is already out there. It is an infinite list of possibilities. All you have to do is go to that universal vending machine and select the reality that you want. Persist in the knowing that that is yours. Persist in the knowing that you are a conscious creator, that the law of assumption is real, that you must have this, and it pushes out. That's it. There you go. So thank you so much for joining me this week. I loved sharing these 2 success stories with you. If these resonate with you, throw a light bulb in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you next week as we dive deep into the law of assumption to figure out how to make it work for you. Bye.